Welcome back to the final episode of Season 1 of the Point of Difference podcast, the show where you learn from people in the world of pro sports about what it takes to be successful in pro sports. My name is Angus Henskins.
And I'm Shaq Shora.
And today's guest is Bonnie Deas.
Join us as we talk to Bonnie about her success through the junior pathway in Australia and what's coming up ahead for her. So
after this, Bonnie Deas. Bonnie Deas, welcome to the show.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's really exciting to have you on, and especially at this time. You know, we're getting you in a pretty exciting stage of your basketball career. It's been really interesting sort of reading up on the things that you've done and been a part of over the past couple of years. And, you know, we talk all the time about how young players are pulled in so many different directions, especially at this sort of formative age where, you know, you're off doing basketball without borders camps, and then you're at the COE, and then now you're in the professional environment with the Sydney Flames. So sort of, can you run us through how these all come together, how you get to these different places, and then what you think some of the different sort of avenues of playing affect and impact your playing development in different ways?
Yeah, I think definitely being in Victoria, you know, I'd like to say we're the basketball states.
Yeah,
what an opening line. I'm ready.
One sentence in.
But yeah, no, like every Friday night, like we'd have our representative basketball, and, you know, you'd be up against great players every week. So I think, you know, getting that exposure and getting to play against elite people every week definitely helps like me personally get better. And then the avenues like SDP, so state development programs, NPP, national performance programs, that definitely helped with like exposure to like getting into the COE and having a scholarship there. I think the COE has definitely been like the best thing that's happened to me in the sense of my basketball. That's definitely allowed me to go overseas and do the camps like BWB and NBA Academy. So I think just like working really hard in like your representative teams and like going to schools, like I went to Roval, that was definitely very helpful for me to getting exposure and getting better every day. So I think like those programs really helped me get the opportunities that I've gotten.
Yeah, I love that you start with that, because the Friday night stuff is like, that's just your local rep club.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and you do start with Victoria being competitive basketball, you know, we can appreciate it from the outside. But what I love about it is that it sets you up and you appreciate it on a baseline level of, I'm not just rolling into rep and walking teams over. Like, there's competitive players that are challenging me. And then you move up a level and it's the same thing. It's competitive people challenging you. Yeah. So sort of even just in that junior rep or senior rep or whatever program, what do you start? Like, you start there with, you know, you have coaches or maybe teammates or opponents that have kind of pushed you and helped you develop in that way.
Yeah. No, I've been very blessed with a lot of the coaches I've had, especially at Frankston Blues. I had Karen Mitchell and Adam Kerr. They were like my first coaches, and they were very big on like skill development. Obviously, as you're young, you know, you want coaches that are going to help you develop, you know, your basic skills, and they really helped me throughout my career at Frankston. Yeah, that's awesome. And then who are maybe some of the players that you played against growing up that you competed with and pushed each other? So how I first got into Blues was kind of my brother, but also my best friend. So I moved schools and I made a friend there, and her name's Shaylee, and she was like my point guard growing up. Like, we played together for years, like 10 years together. And she was kind of my girl, and her dad was actually the coach, Adam. And he, you know, just being around Shaylee would always do like workouts, and she was kind of just, you know, the person I always was getting better with. And yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Talking about the rep program there, so you play Friday nights. What is Saturday, Sunday like?
Saturday, Sunday. Well, growing up, I'd also do domestic basketball on the Saturday at Frankston. Yeah, it really depended. And like, you know, tournaments. And then I also did youth league as well.
Is that on the Saturday?
That was Saturday, Sunday, like depended, like when we were in the season. But yeah, that was kind of what.
No, it's different because over here it's flipped.
Yeah, it's the other way.
Yeah, it's strange. Hey, you guys are on Sundays.
Yeah, like, well, Saturday, Sunday is the rep stuff, and juniors is Sundays, and then Fridays is your domestic stuff. But it'd be, I don't remember who, maybe Robert because he was saying the Vic stuff, nah, screw being at school on a Friday and having to think about a game that night. I would not be able to do that.
Well, no, I loved it because at Roval, like, we'd have like a shoot around and the coaches, you know, it'd be light, and then, you know, you'd get back from school, and because we'd play like 9:40 p.m. games, didn't enjoy those at all. But no, I developed my love for coffee then, because then I'd take a coffee. I literally hated coffee, and then I started having to take coffee so I could stay awake. But yeah, no, I honestly like didn't mind it because I'd get shots up, like pre-game shots. So I guess,
So you've mentioned Roeville like 4 times already. Let's talk about it. What was the, like, I guess it's different, right? Because it's like a sports school and the program, and obviously the people you played with, coaches you played for, and Dean, obviously. Like, how did that shape you up as a junior before going to the COE?
It definitely, I learned a lot about like strength and conditioning because they exposed us early to that in year 7. So we'd have people around us all the time and kind of like structuring out. And I got a bad injury in like year 9. So being able to manage my body was definitely a big thing. It was just a back injury. I did way too much, just like because I was playing football at the time as well. So it was a massive like learning curve for me. So I think also like being able to manage my body and learn that at Roval, because I'd have like so many programs, like so much of me. So I literally had to start doing like schedules for each coach, like, hey, can't do this training, got to go light here. So yeah, it's definitely one of the big things I learned at Roval as well.
That's funny. Like, we've just interviewed Emma Clark the other day, and she was saying essentially the same thing, which is that she's doing so many different sports and for different teams that she gets overloaded at some point and gets an injury and sort of has to wind things back. But she struggled saying no to coaches. And
I was the same,
yeah. How did you develop that?
Well, I think until it hit me with that big injury, and I had to kind of like rediscover myself and find out that basketball isn't always just life. Like, there's other things to basketball. So then I just thought I had to take a better approach because I really missed it. Like, I was out for like 6 months and I was like, wow, like I was a part of like 5-6 different programs. Like, I had to quit football. Like, that was my straw with football. Had to quit that. And yeah, I think just making like a schedule from like Monday to Sunday, like, can't do this, can do this, and then trying to make it even as well and prioritize what's more important. So yeah, doing that. And
was this with parents, with coaches, you driving all of that?
Yeah, I definitely think, like, I had the help of Dean. Like, he was helping me, and he was like allowing me to miss more Roval training so I could accommodate like other teams and programs. But yeah, Dean was really helpful with that.
So you've talked about that sort of structure of domestic and reps. When is school games?
School games. So we'd have like tournaments. So we'd generally train like 4 days a week, gym in there as well, and then like tournaments. So that's when we'd actually play. There'd probably be probably like 3 tournaments. So obviously the big one, nationals at the end of the year, school nationals, and then we'd have like SSV tournaments and other like school tournaments.
So it's a bit different to here. 4 times a week with no game on the weekend.
Yeah.
And how long is that? Like, how do you just do it every term? Like, it's part of the expectation. If you're at Roval, is this straight after school?
It's during school. So yeah, we miss like schooling and stuff. Yeah.
It's the dream.
It's really good.
And then
it's so good.
I assume, is it the same as here where you have to qualify through to champs and do all of that?
Yeah, you have to do all that stuff. Yeah, all those, like, we'd have like Champions Cup, Elite 8. So that they were really fun days. Missing whole days of school for a tournament. So
Shaq and I, we coach teams of a similar age group to that, and I think Shaq's just kind of touched on it, which is a really interesting thing, and maybe you can kind of get in the mind of your coach for a minute, which is that if you're training 4 times a week without a game to prepare for, like, how did they keep you motivated? How did they keep you engaged?
Carrot? What's a carrot?
How do they? Hey, only 10 more weeks, girls, and then we play for 1 week, and then we don't play again.
I think it's just your mindset and like where you want to go. Like, if you have dreams and goals, like, obviously you want to work every single day to reach that. And I don't think everyone has that mindset, but I think that's what motivated me. Like, it wasn't just like to prepare for a tournament or a game, but it was just to get better every single day. Yeah, that's how
I mean, I wish every player had that.
That's a great life.
I'm literally going through this right now. Like, girls, we got nationals at the end of the year. Let's like do this now, and it's like, it's so far away.
It would be hard, but I guess it's up to the individual and where they want to go in life with their basketball.
No, for sure. Yeah. And obviously, you had some great teammates both there and at the COE. So like-minded people makes things a whole lot easier.
100%.
Yeah.
So 100%. That doesn't sound that different to probably what it was like at the COE, is that it's lots of trainings preparing for not many games. So do you think that made that transition a little bit easier?
I think it was a very easy transition. And Dean was also a coach at the Troop back in, I don't know.
Renee, I was there yesterday. I saw his photo there.
Ages ago. So he knew what it was like, and I think he prepared me really well for that as well. And yeah, obviously the structure is really similar. Like, you know, you could literally have class 40 minutes ago, and then, you know, you're training on the court like in 5 minutes.
So at what age did you start that? Like year 7? Yeah,
year 7.
Yeah. Wow. So like, I mean, because it's crazy, because I mean, some of the people we've had here talk, it's like, okay, the transition at 15, 16 was difficult. Like, I don't think anyone said it was easy. And like, we've had two who was a Canberra boy, still said it was like, and here you are being like, oh, I was kind of used to it.
Yeah, I've kind of just had like the stepping stone.
Yeah.
Like, it's been really good.
No, that's
really cool.
Yeah, I've been very lucky.
Cool. Okay, so you go to the COE, and that's, you said at 16?
Yeah, at 16.
Okay, so at 16 you go to the COE, and so maybe I'm trying to figure it out, and the listener. So if you're 16, are there 2 age groups worth of people older than you there?
Yeah, there was a couple that were older.
Okay, and so when you're sort of the younger one, were there people there who were sort of like role models, mentors to you?
Yeah, definitely. I came into the COE injured, so I was rehabbing for the first 6 months. I rolled my ankle on a Friday night game just before I was going up.
Way.
Yeah, I definitely had role models, and especially the ones that like worked the hardest. And
Who?
I loved Isla. Isla was really good. She helped me more with like IQ. Jada was a hard worker.
Yeah.
So was Ruby Gray. There was a lot of girls to look up to, and you know.
And then do you feel like by the end of your time there, you became that leader, the mentor of the group?
100%. Yeah. I was co-captain with Opal Bird, so that was pretty cool. And we knew after our first, well, she'd already been there a year before me, but we knew at the end of that year like what we wanted to implement with the team and make them close. And I think that last year at the COE was definitely the best year that we had, and the team was just so close, and it was just such a great culture.
I find that when you progress to a different sort of like, okay, I'm playing reps, now I'm playing state, and now I'm at the COE, I think as you progress, you find new holes in your game. You find new things that you feel like you need to improve on. Was there something that when you went to the COE, you were like, I need to work on this part of my game because it's been so tricky for me to play without it?
Yeah, my shooting. I was not a consistent shooter at all. Like, there'd just be times where I'd be bricking threes. Like, that was definitely my main goal, like just to be a more consistent shooter and be able to have the confidence to shoot from 3 and shoot jumpers. And Herbie was like great because he's like really good at shooting.
Stuff,
he's really good with that stuff. So I definitely think I came away with a more consistent shot.
What got you there?
Herbie, he'd just always be in my ear. Bonnie, don't lean back. Bonnie, don't lean back. Hold your follow through. Like, he was just always in my ear, and he had a drive just to want to make us better. He was always thinking about basketball, talking about basketball. So I think, he definitely helped me, and just, I guess, practicing and always just shooting.
I want to keep talking about this point of like being pulled from so many different directions, which is how we started. So you then have like nationals campaigns, you have like green and gold stuff, and you keep being pulled while still being in your own kind of like tunnel vision, focusing on yourself. What does that look like for you?
I'm very like someone who's goal like orientated. So I like write my goals in my notes or on my whiteboard. So I think just remembering like what I'm doing and having, you know, intentions of what I'm doing. So like if I'm wanting to get more shots up this week, I'll make sure like I'm giving everyone my energy and time, but I'm also giving myself my energy and time to do what I want to do and get better at.
Yeah, I love that. It's so important, being real specific about your goals. And I've listened to you on the other podcast talking about maybe some goals for the future, but when Shaq talks about these things, were these things that you had circled, like, I want to play for this under 17s team, I want to play for this under 19s team?
Yeah, so when I injured my back when I was 15, I was absolutely devastated because I also missed out on being able to trial for the Sapphires. So that's like the younger Australian group of girls, and that was devastating because I wanted to represent Australia, and I think I made that my goal, and I knew that the COE would definitely help me be able to do that and represent Australia at the junior level. So I think that definitely was
And then since then, you've kind of been able to crack into those and stay healthy relative, like with all, that's awesome.
So you're injured for the 17s, you make the 19s. What was that experience like? Yeah,
it was really special. My first camp, that was in 2020, 23 to make that would have been the under 17s Oceania. And that was a really special experience for me, getting to, you know, put on the green and gold for the first time. It definitely wasn't my best tournament, and I definitely think that was another point of time that really like reshaped me. I went away from that tournament and I really worked on like my mental skills and IQ. I worked with a psychologist there at the COE, and I think that really grew my game. And my next tournament for under 20s is definitely when it was one of my better tournaments. And
yeah, no doubt. Actually, I want to pick on this because we keep talking about it as coaches. Like, we have our conversations because you coach like state teams or school teams in a tournament versus like the team NBL 1 youth league, whatever it is you're coaching at a regular season. It's so different, right? Like, it's two completely different approaches, both body and mental. What was the biggest takeaway probably for you off that first one, like off the tournament, being like, if I was to succeed in these in the future and put myself on like notice, what do I have to change?
Yeah, I think I just hated the way I represented myself in the green and gold in regards to like what I did on court. Like, I just wasn't playing how I wanted to play and showcase myself for the very first time internationally. So I think, I just really wanted to work up here because I'm a hard worker, like in the gym and on the court, but up here, like, it just wasn't clicking. So I guess I just worked really hard and closely with the psychologist, and I'm someone who gets really distracted. So she just gave me like little like tips. Like, I'd have a hairband around my wrist, and when I get distracted, I'd just like flick it, and then I'd be okay, like I got to switch on.
That's really good.
So that was a really helpful one. And another one she gave to me was parking the truck. So like an emotion I'm feeling, like just literally park it and, you know, like do other things. So that really helped me grow. So
I like that, finding solutions kind of like around the issue. I've had those experiences where you talk to people and they say like, you can't like just switch off that emotion, but if you can try and like work around it. So when you say you were you getting frustrated about this? Was this affecting your play because you were then like holding on to it and being upset about it?
Yeah, because I knew I could perform so much better. Like, I train every day, and like I'd practice really well. Like, I tried out really well for the team, but just the way I performed like really affected me, and I just was not proud of myself at all. And I wanted to be proud of myself, and I wanted to show that I was a better player than I showcased that tournament. So
because I find that like this was such I was listening to a cricketer. It was Marnus Labuschagne. He was talking about when he's batting at his best, all he's worried about is the bowler. And when he's batting at his worst, he's worried about, my technique or like my form or whatever. Yeah. So like taking that stress, and if you can leave that behind and just be like, what about this player in front of me? What can they do? How can I beat them? Yeah. And it sounds like you're in your own head thinking about yourself at the crease.
It's like the flow. Like, when you're in the flow of the game, like, you're just not thinking about anything. You're just playing. And I think that's obviously when most athletes thrive, when they're just, playing hard and not thinking about all those little things.
It's so spot on. And again, talking to athletes, and you're like, when do you perform at your best? And it's like, when I just do and I don't think. Like, you couldn't even think, if you were to recall a really good game, you wouldn't be like, man, I knew there was switching, and I was just like, it's just like, no, just like went and played, like, you don't overthink these things. You just keep it simple. You play what's in front of you. And I think when you struggle, I think sometimes going back to that and just remembering it, being like, I'm at my best when I just do, things become a whole lot easier.
And it helps with coaches when they're not like just like cracking at you for the little things, because like then it builds up, and when you've got a coach that's like shows confidence in you, I think that definitely helps.
That is a challenge for a coach. Not necessarily not cracking at you, but like keeping things simple enough that you aren't spending so much of your mental energy 100%. On thinking about, oh God, I have to do this, I have to do that, and more just thinking about, all right, I'm going to play my game. And you just talked about, types of coaching that you sort of like and things that you think you respond well to. Is there maybe you can have a coach in your head, but is there a type of coaching style you think you respond particularly well to?
I don't know. I haven't had much like yelling coaches, so I don't think I would respond very well to like a really like yelling direct coach like that. I like coaches that value like your mindset and like getting to know you on a personal level. I think that's really important. Nothing that
that's honestly that's a great answer, and I find that even with Shaq. Shaq and I are best mates, and when I talk to him about understanding him and where he's from versus where I am and where I'm from, sometimes he's looking glass half empty when I'm looking glass half full, and I can't figure it out. But then when I talk to him more and more, I'm like, oh, yeah, I probably have a negative perception of things as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting to know people to understand why they think a certain way is super important.
100%.
Shaq and I were talking about your game earlier and how, we wanted to talk about, how you play and the way you play. How do you think you would describe the way you play?
Just hustle. I like to just get after it. I love playing defense. I think that really strives with my offense. Like if I'm playing good defense, that will just translate like easier to my offense. I just love to hustle, like lock up players, just not let them touch the ball, I guess. And I take getting scored on really personally. So
one thing I noticed, and I pointed out to Gus, and being on the other side of it when we played you like schools 2 years ago, is like you rebound the ball extremely well. Like you're practically like what most of the time you'd be the shortest on the floor.
Yeah.
And you average the most rebounds at 20s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like double figures. Like, I mean, that's insane. So pretty much what I'm trying to get at is like after that campaign of the green and gold, you pretty much switch it. Like you come ready to go. Yeah, experience that at schools. You win that. Come into 20s. Yeah, best player there. And like put on a show and like, defensively and being able to rebound the ball. What can you like kind of attribute that to? And I guess like, because I'm massive on being able to rebound the ball, and it just shows that you don't have to be big to go and do it. You just have to go and get it. So you're saying you're a go-getter. What does it all come down to?
I think just wanting the ball. Like I know that's like so much easier to say than done, but like, I don't know, I jump at everything. My teammates have said a lot of the times I do specky in training, so I don't think they love me for that.
No,
but like
that's great.
I just want to get the ball and put it back in the hole, or just like kick it out for another opportunity to score, or I think it's just the wanting, because like it's an effort thing, and an effort thing's it doesn't require no skills. So just. Do
you think you're just like born that way? Like you're making it so much easier said than done. Like if only everyone could just go and play like that. Like where is it coming from? Like being
competitive as well. Like I grew up with two brothers, and that's not easy. One older, one younger. They'd always gang up on me. So I think that own. Definitely I held my own. So I think being competitive and wanting to win and
And then on the flip side of that, like offensively, you like getting going in trans. Like where do you find your spots? I guess like. Let's talk before we head into the pro stuff, but at that junior level, like at that 20s level, where did you find your success?
I love a good baseline drive. I love doing that. Baseline drive is definitely my go-to. Yeah.
That's so specific.
That's so someone that knows himself.
Yeah. No, that's like Billy Tomlinson says it to me all the time, which is that to be a good player, you have to be really violent. And like you talk about like specking your teammates, and they probably hate it. It's like, they probably do.
They definitely hate
that.
But
like it's a real thing. Like I remember playing, you just hate playing against those players. And I think it's so much easier to take somebody that's like too aggressive and violent and bring them to like, all right, this is legal basketball than the other 100%. Way. But I love the way that you said, well, I'm a defense oriented person. I love defense. And you led the 20s in scoring. So like, how do you sort of like? Do you think one relates to the other? Do you think when you're playing good defense, you feel better about your offense? Do you think
100%? Yeah, no. 100%.
Does it take pressure off your offense if you think you're playing good defense?
Well, yeah, I think so. I genuinely I'm very lucky. I get the opportunity to guard like the best in the other team. So I think, I just think my defense really just goes from my offense.
Yeah. Well, you've talked about like you think a lot about your performance, and like you're upset about the way you play, and then that can impact it. Take some pressure away from, God, I have to hit this shot, because I think people that, especially shooters, but people offensively who are so in their own head about, well, I have to score to be productive. I have to score to be, you can get really bogged down in that if you're not scoring the ball as well as you want. Shaq and I were just talking beforehand about people like being, especially when you're a shooter, it's so difficult thinking about, I got to make the shot. I have to make the shot or else I'm in trouble. And that pressure is sort of taken off you if you can be good at the other end of the floor.
Yeah.
Shaq touched on it. We're going to get into the pros. Before we get there, we're going to put on your general manager hat. Bonnie, who is your all-time starting five of teammates?
Oh, that's a tough question.
That's crazy.
Maybe I'm not good at acting. All right. I haven't really been in the teams with like a lot of older people, but like I did do NBL 1 in 2022 and then obviously played for Sydney. So like you'd be crazy not to put Kayla in the 5. Like you'd be crazy not to put her in the 5.
I think just about everyone that's played with Kayla has put her in the team.
I mean, you got to like,
Yeah.
She's a great player.
No, good answer.
Gonna throw some of my youngins in.
Good.
Monique Vabongi.
Yeah.
Played with her for 2 years at the COE. She played at the Caps, so I'd put her as my 2, I reckon, and then I'd put Kayla as my 5. Saffron Shields, she just got in her first camp for the Opals, which is like incredible. So I'd put her as my point guard.
Yeah.
And I played with Darcy Garvin in 2022, so I'd put her as my 4.
Right.
So she carried our team that year.
Yeah.
So got to put her in there.
That's for Frankston?
For Frankston, yeah.
Yep.
And my 3 would go to Kate Gaze. I also played with her in 2022.
Right.
Yeah.
We know that you've decided to go to college later this year now.
Yep.
Sort of what's that process like? Did you have to go on a tour, or they just sort of found you from and other colleges involved? How was all that?
That was definitely from international exposure, like getting to do NBA camps and BWB camps. That definitely helped, and then getting to put on the green and gold, like the exposure internationally. That that definitely helped. So yeah, that's kind of how all that came about.
And who was it? It was you had 3 main ones?
3 visits. So I selected Syracuse, Arkansas, and Mississippi State.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And then when visits, each one decided on the one, right?
Yeah. It took me a while. It was really close between the 3.
Yeah.
It's very different because, like, obviously as an international, you speak to them on Zoom and, like, you just don't, you can get a vibe, but, like, in person, you get a proper vibe and you get to see everything in person. So, it took me a while to decide, but, Arkansas was the one for me.
That's awesome.
And then I love that with the Flames then you sign an amateur contract. And I remember reading that and being like, I have no idea what that or why. And then I think it was you that I asked, and it was like, well, it's so she can keep her eligibility, which I got. But usually they would just make you a DP.
Yeah.
But I thought signing you as an amateur was like an intent that, hey, she's going to play. She's actually going to be like a contributor on this team. Was that sort of the pitch to you, or because I think it's a mindset from you of I'm not just going there to like, oh, it's cool, I get to be around a pro team for a year before I go to college. It's like I'm going to go and I'm going to play and I'm going to make this team better.
Yeah, well, I didn't expect to actually play.
Did you know you're going to play?
No, I did not expect really talented group. I just really wanted to learn a lot off the girls, and I think I've come away and I've definitely learnt so much. And I think getting the opportunity to play, obviously our season with injuries, you couldn't picture that happening from, signing. But yeah, I think getting that opportunity has been incredible for me. I'm very lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. And, well, I mean, as you said, probably when you signed it, you'd have no idea. What was the transition like the first couple months? Did you struggle? If so, what helped you get out of it? How do you build confidence when the stakes are high and, let's say mentally, you don't exactly prepare yourself to be like, I'm a massive piece in this right now, because you're thinking about whatever's coming next probably.
Yeah. Yeah, you come from being, top, and then you just back to the bottom.
You're a rook.
But that's expected. So you just want to learn as much as you can and get better. Confidence was definitely a huge thing for me. Just trying to use the mental tricks that I've learnt and just remind myself that I'm the youngin'. But yeah, I think just competing and just trying to get better every day in different areas of my game helped me just with my confidence and kept believing in myself, I guess.
Yeah, and then obviously missing out on schools and 20s, thank you for that. But because that would be devastating, right? Because you're working this hard and you're pretty much getting beaten up day in, day out, and then you get this these 2 opportunities where you're going to be the top dog, It's but then all of a sudden you're like, shit, I'm actually a big piece here and I'm needed here. And it'd be tough, mentally, to bounce around and be I'm in, I'm out. What does that look like? Yeah, no,
I really wanted to play nationals for schools and under 20s, but I got a very late injury for schools and I couldn't go and compete there. And then nationals, that was had to call that one off. But yeah, no, I didn't really think I'd be that much of a big piece to be able to miss out on under 20s. But I'm just grateful, like I got to be able to
100%.
contribute on the court and come off the bench and just bring energy, bring hustle, and yeah.
And you did contribute. And then your starting games towards the end of the season, we talked about when you go from reps in state to the AAS, you find parts of your game you need to improve. Did you think that when you made that jump, there was new or other things that you felt like you needed to improve as well?
Yeah, I'm always trying to improve. There's lots of aspects of my game that I want to get better at. I think definitely just having the confidence to come off on ball screens. I didn't do that much this season. I was more of a corner girl. But yeah, no, I think walking away from this season, developing my own, like, coming off ball screens game is definitely something I want to work on.
And is this like where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself at the point? Do you see yourself as a 2? And obviously, like, that doesn't mean that if you're the 2, you're not playing out of pick and roll. Like, that's obviously,
definitely.
So, where do you see yourself? And I want to talk about the shooting as well, like, because that's obviously still always relevant, right?
Yeah.
So those 2 points, how do you see yourself in, like, college?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely a 2, but I'd sell myself as a combo guard, I reckon.
Nice.
I'd just say,
yourself.
combo guard.
That's a great line.
Fair enough.
I don't love playing the 1, but I mean, I can. Like, I'm willing to play whatever position for the team I
You
need
probably
to.
guard the opposition's guards, right? Like the point guards. Yeah,
I enjoy like guarding the point guards and like dogging the ball up the court. But I probably prefer to play the 2 on offense. Yeah. So that's why I'd say, like, on combo, like, I'll guard the 1, but I'll play the 2.
Did you get reps up? But like, so you're talking pick and roll, right? Like, it's a massive aspect and big piece of it. Where are you going to get your reps up? How does this, like, heading into an off season? What are you going to structure, like, your workouts like? How are you going to attack that?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do individuals back at home with some coaches and, compete and, like, do individuals with people that I know are going to make me better. Maybe play with the boys and, you know, develop different areas of my game and,
Yeah, that's super important. When you go back to Frankston, do you know the coach well?
Yeah, Dean. It's my Roval coach.
No way.
It's a small
Crazy connection there.
Okay.
Bit of Roval, bit of Frankston.
That's awesome.
One room. So.
Okay, so you get the opportunity then to work with people that you trust and sort of develop that game. Me personally, I talk to guys all the time, especially the development players, which again, like, people that haven't played a whole lot in the NBL season, and you did, but the younger players who go to the next thing, they go to their NBL 1 and they go, this offseason I really want to add blank. Is that the pick and roll stuff for you?
Yeah, that is. And I think, like, I've already just, like, made a schedule of what I'm going to be doing and working towards to get there. So just very schedule, goals driven.
Yeah, very organised. No, it's good, but I mean, to make it in this industry, you just have to be. Otherwise, it just collapses on you very,
100%.
very quickly.
I need to know, like, what I'm doing. I'm a list schedule.
How do you adjust? Let's flip it. How do you adjust when a curveball comes in? Like, how do you go about that?
I love to speak to, like, the people I'm close to. I really value, you know, my family's opinion and my close friends' opinion.
Yeah.
I also think just, like, writing it down for me as well. And talking to people who have experienced the same things, I reckon. They're probably the 3 things I do to, like, get me out of a state or to help me with something.
Good answer.
Rapid fire question ball. Answer as quickly as you can.
Okay, favourite artist?
Scissor.
Road trip or flying?
Flying.
What's the capital of Brazil?
Oh, no. Not geography. Don't. Rio?
Oh, good stab, but no.
Brazil.
Free throw routine.
Dribble, look at the ring, shoot.
Cricket or rugby?
Rugby.
Okay. I thought after the Marnus you were going to be... Anyway, Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Subway or McDonald's?
Subway.
What sport, aside from basketball?
Football. AFL.
Bang.
Okay, I have a question.
Yep.
I called you Bonnie Deas for like a year. So, Deas, what's your background?
I'm just Australian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. That's a simple
Love
answer.
that.
I reckon so many people call you Deas.
Yeah, they do.
They
I
do?
never
Do you
really
get it?
correct. Like, it's just like...
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll listen to a few bad NBL 1 commentators as well.
Oh, my. some of them butcher it. We
Yeah.
love everything, especially 2 feet in the paint. We love 2 feet in the paint.
Goats.
But
Elites.
yeah, Diaz. I mean, it makes you sound Colombian.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I was like, oh, maybe. But,
Nah,
Okay, that-
just Aussie.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Bonnie Deas, what is, like, we talked about you had a vision board of, like, I want to make these things. What is sort of now your ideal goals?
Yeah, I created like a 2025 vision board.
Awesome.
And I've got like photos and stuff on there and like goals. So specifically for this year, like I really want to make the under 19s World Cup team. And then if I do win gold with them, that would
Awesome.
be incredible.
Is that where is it?
That's in Czech Republic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
that'd be really sick.
So what sorry, I'm
you're
jumping
good.
in. What
You're good.
phase of that is it? Like, is it just the squad right now or have they cut it?
Yeah, so we've got our first camp this month, at the end of this month, and then there'll be another camp in May, and then that's when they'll like select the team,
Okay.
and then we go over.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So,
And your top age for that?
yeah, top age.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's
So you and
Awesome.
Babongi and yeah, that,
Safi,
yeah.
yeah.
Nice. That's
Oh,
cool.
part of the
The whole
starting
time, yeah, the
five.
whole
Yeah,
time.
part of
There's
the
a
starting five.
reason. There's a reason.
Fantastic.
That's good.
Okay, so that's on the vision board.
Yeah, I
Is
have
there
just
anything
like
else
a
for
lot
this
of
year?
like personal like gym goals and like, you know, being better off coming off ball screens and you know, really honing in on like relationships and especially, you know, being away from family when I go to college, like being able to just connect with them and make sure I schedule in times to call them. And yeah, just some on my vision board for 2025. So.
That's awesome. Do you know much about kind of when you're heading? Are you going to finish the NBL 1 season?
Yeah, the NBL 1 season will be very interrupted with like all the camps and stuff.
Yep.
And then I'll be going to Arkansas in August.
Okay.
So don't know whether I'll be able to do the full season or not, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And obviously having visited there and all of that, why did you pick it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've answered that a lot. I obviously getting to see Arkansas in person, it was really good. They had a great campus, great people,
Yeah.
and get like the way they structured the visit. It was just like it flowed really well, and I got to meet everyone and talk to everyone that, you know, was required, like dietitians, physios, strength and conditioning coaches, and I think the way they play and the structure of their training I really enjoyed hearing about. So yeah, and obviously the coaching staff was a big one for me. They're all great people, and I really believe that they'll help me with my goals.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome. What is the goal? What's the ultimate goal?
well, I definitely want to be drafted into the WNBA,
Yeah.
play through the Australian Opals at the Olympics, and I do really want to play in Europe as well. So
Yeah. Wow. It's a lot.
a lot of goals.
Yeah, but it's all
A lot of
achievable,
goals.
man.
I heard you say that about Europe. What do you think it is about Europe that intrigues you?
I really want to like use basketball not only to get better and achieve things, but like to travel. And I really want to play in Europe and get to experience that side of the basketball as
sure.
well.
So, does the EuroLeague women, is that the opposite ends of the year to the WNBA, or is it the same time of year?
It's the same. It's like the same time of the year as WNBL, I believe.
Oh, okay.
That's why like a lot of girls that are usually in the WNBL, like Steph Reid, they're like in Europe at the moment doing
Gotcha.
their season.
So you can do both.
Yeah,
You can do
I'm pretty
both.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember I was listening to Sandy Brondello's husband, whose name has escaped me. He was on a pod and he was talking about how he was coaching a EuroLeague team and they had Diana Taurasi on it. And I was like, Diana Taurasi's in the EuroLeague? Why wasn't she in the WNBA?
Yeah.
So that makes a whole lot of sense. So you
Yeah,
can
I'm
go
pretty
both
sure.
ends of the year
Yeah.
and you can travel and you can...
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just
use
want to
it.
experience the world.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
basketball's giving me that
Use it as an
opportunity too.
avenue.
So
Yeah, 100%.
may as well. Yeah.
100%. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, I think if the men could do that, I think they would. I think it's a great opportunity. Maybe they're too lazy. And speaking of being lazy, you talked about you've set out these goals. You've set out these like, I want to stay connected to my family when I'm in Arkansas. So I'm going to allocate these times. Have you done that sort of thing in the past? Like be real specific about your plans and then stuck to it?
Yeah, like at the COE, I'd have my whiteboard and I'd go through on the Sunday night, like what I wanted to achieve. And I've also done this while I've been in Sydney and like specifically with calling people. I'm just not very good at it. Like I just,
Yeah.
But you
I've got
see-
so many people I need to call, like
Yeah.
friends I need to catch up with. Like, it's like having 20 different long distance like relationships, like
Yeah.
trying to catch up with people. So I think I just like write their names and I can tick them off when I when I do it. So.
You know, but like you say, you're not good, but you are, because like you make an effort to do
I
this.
try, yeah,
you
I
know, like
try.
it's that's already half the job done.
Yeah.
Like and all it takes is like, it'd be unrealistic for you to be like, I'm calling 20 people every single week, but it's
Yeah.
like you just need a touch point, you know, and if you're
100%.
close enough, like you will be able to make it through time. Like it doesn't always have to be this consistent thing, but
Yeah.
you were talking about like knowing like your close circle and all of that. As long as you know you're there
Exactly.
for you, like
Yeah.
that's all it takes.
100%.
Right? Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
I'm so bad at that. I am so bad at that because I think it's so easy to keep connected to people when like the only way you can message them is by sending them a letter. And so like every month you get one and it's like, all right, this is the best I can do. But like, how do I keep in touch with somebody that I can message
All the
at
time.
any
Yeah,
given
yeah.
time?
I reckon TikToks, you know, and sending reels.
Send them
that helps.
reels.
That helps. Like it just you know, reminds them that you're still thinking of them and like, you know.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every so often, oh, this reminded me of you.
Yeah.
See, my dad sends me 8 reels a day.
Oh.
My mum does that too.
And I can't get to all of them. And then I feel really bad
Then
because
you
he's
just
like, you
start
see
liking
that
it. You
thing?
start liking it before you even watch it, and then they'll like talk to you about it when you see them. You're like,
You're like, oh,
That one,
I miss that.
yeah, oh god.
Okay, well that's really good. It's good that you think that you have these things and you can keep them up, because I think setting very specific goals for yourself while you're about to head into something that's really unknown is
Yeah.
a tricky thing to do. But
Yeah.
if it's a trait that you think that you have, because I mean, you in a lot of ways you have just done that. You've come to a new city that you're not from, and
Yeah.
it's an experience that you haven't had, and you've had to set these expectations for yourself. So that's really cool.
Thanks.
Well, Bonnie, thank you very, very much for coming on the show. We really appreciated having you, and
Thank you.
we look forward to seeing what you do next.
No, thank you guys for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
All the best.